on to Unapologetically Significant. We're your hosts, Rich and Shelly Marie. How you doing, Shelly?
I am doing great.
What is great to you?
Oh, great. I'm glad you asked. I am just coming back from Sedona. I'm not sure. Yes, right? Not sure how many of you guys know about Sedona, but it is one of the most amazing places in the world, I want to say.
Yes, indeed.
It's got the Red Mountains. It's got several vortex. It's a vortexes or vortex?
Well, it's not English class. I'm
Okay.
not sure.
They got
We call it whatever we want. It's our podcast. Vortex is.
Yeah, we got all the vortexes. It's just a beautiful, very peaceful place. And I go there when I want to be centered. And I was having an interesting week last week, and a girlfriend invited me up. And I was there all week, and I was there for 3 days, and it felt like I was there for like 2 weeks. That's how peaceful and how rejuvenated I felt at the end of the trip.
Clean air.
Oh, clean air, hiking, fresh food. We didn't really eat out too much. We made everything at the Airbnb. Hiked down to the creek. We probably hiked about 10 miles or so.
Nice.
Over the course of a couple of days. So I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. You know, I finished a 5-day fast. Just cleaning out all the yuck and this and that, and cell rejuvenation, and stem cell production, and I feel wonderful.
Great. You're not hangry.
Oh, no.
So let me ask, what was the cleanse for?
The cleanse is basically to, we have a lot of dead cells that end up accumulating in our bodies. And we got cells that not form perfectly, and, kind of like a bad neighbor kind of thing. So we've all had that. And what it basically does is clean out all of that. So when you deprive yourself of food and you're just taking in water and proper supplementation, what happens is your cells actually go after the bad cells and they clean you up. So it's like a head to toe rejuvenation.
Wow. So that kind of segues into what we're going to talk about your circle and cleaning up your circle.
Ooh.
Yeah. And so what's the question of the day is, who's in your circle?
True.
And we're not talking about your contact list, who's in your phone. I want to say Apple, Android, it don't matter. Who's in your phone, not your followers. We are specifically who has access to you and your energy.
Right. Because, your circle really should be the people that deserve to have a front row seat with you. Not in the back somewhere, not in the closet, not outside next door or what have you. They really need a front row seat. Those people that you can depend on, those people that believe in you, those people that love you, support you, all those good kind of things.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. The girlfriend that invited me up to Sedona, she called it, she was doing a mastermind class, and it was her with herself, really doing a detox and going through the things that she wanted to manifest, or her goals that she wanted to have. And that is truly part of it, because when we have a lot of folks around us, we have a lot of likes and followers and all that good stuff, but are they really our friend? Do they have access to us like that, good or bad? Are they dumping on us? Are we the friend that they call when they just want to tell us all the bad news and we need to lift them up and rise them to the top? Be their personal cheerleader? Or is it a mutual relationship?
Right,
I was talking to my daughter Phoenix about frenemies. Like, she's 18, she's in the world, right, in college, and she's finding a lot of people want to hang out with her, but I'm like, but are these your friends? Are you going to invite them over to our house, our address, our safety, our home, where we rest our heads? Like, are these people, or are they not? Like, how do we determine or distinguish the difference between the two?
Right. And, that goes into, what is a friend? Just to define it, what is a friend? Because as you just talked about, there's a whole range of folks that call themselves a friend. But are they truly a friend, or are they acquaintances?
Mm.
You know, are they inner circle friends? Or are these just kind of people we hang out with that we call friends? And how do you pick them? That's the thing. How do you pick them?
Oh, Erica Badu says you pick your friends like you pick your fruit. So, like if we're really going to be particular about what we're feeding our soul and our spirit and our energy, then it should be ripe. It should
Right.
be pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
It should do something for you. It's not a one-sided relationship. It should be sometime feeding your spirit.
Right. Right. I think there are things that I can see would interfere with picking the right friends,
Hmm.
and one of them is being comfortable.
Oof.
You get comfortable with people, and by default, all of a sudden they become your friend.
Right.
And I don't think that's not one of the criteria. Of course, you want to be comfortable with them, but I'm talking about a different comfortability
Hmm.
where folks just accept them, accept the flaws, which is fine, but your spider senses are telling you no, 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 no. But you feel comfortable, and you're like, oh, it'll be okay. They'll be
Hmm.
different. They'll change.
Mm-mm.
It'll work out.
Mm.
Ooh.
So there's a difference between being comfortable and being compatible. Being comfortable in our situation versus, we touched on this. I want to say the first or second episode, and we talked about birds of a feather flock together.
Mm-hmm.
Nine, if you nine hanging out with nine broke friends, you're about to be the 10th. All of those cliche statements. It's kind of the same thing. Just because we're both going through something doesn't mean that we are compatible. Like that's almost, what do they call it when you have like trauma bonding?
Trauma bonding. Misery loves company.
Misery loves company. We're
Yeah.
coming up with all the good ones
I
today.
know.
But it really boils down to, you know, being in a situation where we're equally yoked and we are giving something back and forth. Like it's a true relationship flows
Mm-hmm.
both ways.
Right.
It's just not me feeling over. Like if I have my little tea, you guys know love my tea, but what I can't remember where I heard this from. It might have been my grandmother. She's always giving me some little tidbits. This is my cup. Your cup runneth over, right? So when my cup runneth over, then that's when I can give my energy. That's when I can share. If my cup
Mm-hmm.
is not running over, that is for me. And
Right.
there is no reason why we should feel guilty about not being able to service someone based on their expectations of what we should give. It's like I don't have $1 million in the bank, but let's just say I did, just for easy math. I have $1 million in the bank. Someone else that may need money or in a situation, they're in a bind. We've all been in a bind. They may feel because I have it, I should give it.
Right.
And then,
Right.
then there's rustling in the tea leaves when I
Mm-hmm.
don't give it.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm, she thinks she all that, she's got it to give and she don't want to give it, da 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 da. You go down this lane and we have those people in our inner circle and we don't even realize it.
That reminds me of a couple that I met up in Washington State. So you had two couples, husband and wife, and closest of friends. Been together for years and years and years and considers themselves the closest of friends. Well, one day the two husbands go into a 7-Eleven and they buy a lottery ticket. And so one guy pays for it, and they get it, and they walk out. Well, it just so happens that ticket hit,
Mm.
and they won $6 million.
Woo!
So the guy who didn't pay for the ticket goes, well, you need to give me half of that. And he's like, wait a minute. I went in there to get the ticket. You came with me. I paid for it. Now you want half the money.
Mm.
They were enemies within a week.
Wow.
After being together all that time. So were they truly friends?
No, well, first of all, money will make people act strange. So maybe we need to come up with a different example. But yeah, it's a money thing. but it truly talks to the character of that person, like
Right,
what
right.
somebody feels entitled to that's really not theirs. I mean,
Right.
you have kids, spouse, whoever in your life, and sometimes they have a lot of access to you, and they are, kind of, I don't want to say take advantage. That's a bad word. This is not what I'm trying to say, but they have this entitlement, that this expectation
Mm-hmm.
that they have that certain access to you, or you have to give yourself all the time, and it comes naturally. You're a wife. I'm a wife. So it's like, okay, well, wife, you cook. I love to cook. That's what I do as a chef. You're gonna cook dinner, and I'm gonna do this. That conversation never happens of the role that we're gonna have in each other's life. Now, I don't want to make it sound very transactional, but it kind of, I think we're living in a day and age where if it was a little more clear, and we both had an understanding of our roles in each other's life, then maybe this whole it wouldn't be so complicated.
Right, right.
You
I
know?
wonder if there's you talk about roles. Why aren't they? Why aren't the roles clear? Is it because of the fear?
I think part of it is fear, and I think part of it is fun. The two F words. Part of it is we're having so much fun and we're getting along, and then all of a sudden one of us hits the lottery, and I'm like, "Yo, where's my tax? My 50%?"
Right. Right.
So I think it's a combination of then, and the other part of it's fear of we're having such a good time. I don't want to mess it up by telling them I don't drink, or I
Right.
don't smoke. I don't want to ruin the thing, so I'm just gonna go along with it.
Right.
And what are you doing? Compromising yourself.
Yeah,
That's what it's called.
Big
Selling
time.
yourself out.
Yep, yep.
Letting somebody commandeer your boundaries.
All the mirror work is done.
Ooh, child.
All that work you did for, however long, you just sailed it down the river. You got to be true to yourself. That's the thing. You got to be true to yourself. And if a person is a true friend, they'll understand. That's the thing. They'll understand. But if they all of a sudden start to ghost you, do all these other things, well, then they're not a true friend. And not to say you have to throw them out or anything like that, but they have a category that they get placed in. And that's okay. That's okay. Because the inner circle is not going to be many people. There was a gentleman I knew when I lived up in Portland, and he was a pastor and had a large church, 5,000 people in the congregation.
That's a mega church.
Yeah, mega church. And, I had an opportunity to meet with him several times and talk about things. And he told me that he has birthed 16 different churches around the world, all large mega churches. He goes, but my inner circle consists of 6 people, and that's it.
Wow.
6 out of all those thousands of people, and he was close to a lot of them, his staff and what have you, but only 6 he deemed as friends.
Wow. That's deep.
Yeah, yeah.
I think. What are your thoughts on this? On what is it? It's not really a number tied to this, right? But what would you say the average amount of friends someone actually has, and the distinction between today's world where we have to have 1,000, 10,000 people friends in our Facebook or Instagram or social media platform versus in our real life?
I think the number is probably around 1%. I think it's that low. So out of, every 100 people, what's 1%? That's not a lot of folks.
That's not a lot of folks.
Not a lot of folks. Because I think, when you talk about true friends and what they really mean to you, number one, it takes a while to get to know somebody. And if you yourself haven't been working on yourself, and then, who knows where that number goes to. Because a lot of times what's going to happen is there's 2 people that have done no work on themselves, and they become friends. Well, what's going to happen down the road? I mean, life hits you of the bumps and ups and downs of life, and that's going to fracture somewhere. So, it's almost like a duality where you have to be working on yourself. They need to be working on themselves. And then together you can grow in that friendship. Because I think that's what really, whether it's relationships, friendships, I think that's what fractures an awful lot of them. People grow in different directions. Right. And, it's like a tree. If you got one branch going this way, one branch going that way, that's really not going to work. You got branches all around, so you can actually grow in different directions. Not that you have to be carbon copies of each other, but you have to have some similar goals and whatnot. One of the things that I always looked at when I was in the dating world, people would ask me, what are some of the questions that you ask when you first meet somebody? And, after I had done some work on myself, one of the questions I always ask is, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And they're like, what? Why would you ask a question like that? Yeah. Because I want to know where you want to go in 5 years is even on the radar screen or not. Because if it's not, well, that's something I have to consider, And, before I did the work on myself, hey, do you like jazz? You like to go here? You like to go, oh, you like all those things? We're compatible. All right, let's get together.
We go together.
That's right. 10 months from now, I'm crying, oh, she left me. Yeah. It just don't work that way. Yeah. So you got to get down deep underneath the surface. But in order to do that and feel comfortable enough to do that, you got to do that work on yourself.
Because you have to know what your boundaries are. You have to find out what your deal breakers are. And then sometimes we think things are deal breakers. And then, when we really drill down on it, it's not. It's something that we just a preference, right? But it's really knowing what you want. And if you have a 5-year plan and your partner, business partner, intimate partner, whatever, they don't, it may or may not work. It's very telling when it's like, you have some free spirits out there, right? They're just like, I'm just going with the wind. I'm just doing I'm following the spirit. Whatever my ancestors say. Okay, that's cool. That's good for you. Right. And that might be one of those friends that I put in this category, because I'm very structured and I like the rules and I like my boxes to check. But you definitely need people in your circle that are going to clap for you. People that are going to challenge you, people that are going to call your baby ugly sometimes, and because sometimes we need to be reeled back, but it has to come from a loving place.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like I was sitting with some folks the other day, and this young lady was telling me about how she thought she had this friend, and they started to do the tree thing, and she started to go this way, and this person's still over here, which is fine. Your journey is your journey.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But the minute she went this way, now all of a sudden the rustling in the tea leaves, like, oh, she thinks she better than everybody. She over here trying to rebrand. She ain't that, And it's like, whoa, where did that come from?
Right.
Like, why does this person know all your business? And B, how long have you known this person for this person to know you? Stop telling all your business.
Right.
Like, even friendships, I think there's a time and a place where you really need to know who that person is before you start sharing to figure out, are they one of those people that should be on your board of directors of your life?
Right.
Because again, this ain't no dress rehearsal. This is it. So me personally, I don't want people in my inner circle that I have to question. I don't want people that are going to be just energy thieves. Yes, we're all going to have bad days. And yes, I'm going to do the ugly girl cry. And you're going to have to hold my hair back and all that good stuff. But it shouldn't be that's my role, because that is a vampire. And y'all saw Sinners. I ain't inviting you into my house. Okay? It's not happening. And I have no issues with that. And it could just be an age thing. Like, I let them. Like, y'all go over there and do what you want to do, but I'm not going to do it here.
Right. And that takes a strength. That really takes an inner strength to be able to do that. But then again, you've got to know somewhat of what you want. And once you realize what you want, that passion will start to grow in you, and you don't want it interrupted. And when too many people are interrupting
The
it,
flow.
and I don't care if it's mother, father, sister, brother, cousin,
Neighbor.
whoever, 10 times removed, we got all these crazy things. But, it doesn't matter because guess whose life it is?
Yeah.
It's your
Yeah,
life.
absolutely.
So you've got to take control over your life and make those decisions. The being comfortable with someone, being familiar. Oh my goodness. Oh, you go out with someone, you develop a relationship, blah, 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 blah. And then it doesn't work for whatever reasons. And then, take a little time off. You get back with someone else. Very similar to the last one.
Yep.
You didn't take inventory. That broccoli gave you gas.
Yeah.
And yet you go out and get it again.
You eat 12 boxes of broccoli.
Yeah.
Cut it out.
You just can't do that. And so, people get this familiarity and it's like, which leads to comfort. And then you're right back in that.
Complacency, and you're
Yeah.
just stuck.
Yep. Yep.
Like
So,
and you cannot grow in those environments. You just can't. I mean, you can learn what not to do, but at some point you have to have the grit. And I just say it, you got to have the balls to walk away. You have
Yeah.
to say, you know what, this is fun and all that great stuff, but it's not part of my doing this is not going to get me to where I want to be in 5 years.
Right.
This is not going to get me into where I need to be in the next year. Like, we get stuff on sale sometimes, and like them flip-flops is cute. You know what I mean? We know they're gonna hurt. We know they're not gonna last, and we buy them and we regret them. They're seasonal. My girlfriend Joyce said, people are in your life for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. It's for us to have that discernment to figure out where they're at and be okay with it. People are gonna walk away, and that's okay.
Yeah.
We want to just love them from a distance, appreciate and that time that we had together, and just keep it pushing.
That's
The
it.
world will bring, if you're it's meant to be, you bring you guys back together. I have friends that you live in another state, some in other countries that I don't get to see often, but when they call, I'm present, and it's like we didn't miss a beat.
Yeah.
And then we're
Yeah.
back to it. But those folks that I found, like, now every time I go with y'all, I'd have one too many drinks and I regret myself the
Right.
next day. I feel like crap. And then it starts to spiral.
Right.
And now we're in a place, and we're going to encourage y'all to do the same thing. It's like, really fine tune your circle and identify, if you can put a name tag on the folks that are in your corner. Who's the CEO? Who's the CFO? Who is the HR person? Who is this? When we run our lives like a business, high level, when we
Right,
run it like a
right.
business, then we tend to be more successful.
Right. Right.
Thoughts?
It's I like that analogy of a business, and I also like the analogy of a garden. You start a garden up, and you've got whatever in there. It's all green and beautiful, and the wind can bring other seeds in there. Well, you got some weeds in there, and for a while, the garden can thrive with some weeds in there. You get too many weeds, and what starts to happen?
Oh, they take over.
Yeah,
They start
they take-
strangling everything.
Yeah, they'll choke out everything you got there. So it's okay to pluck some of those people and put them aside. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, it's your life, and you've got to get to the point where you're not always going through the hard knock school. Everything that happens to us for a reason, and we're supposed to learn something from it. Now, do we always know what that lesson is? No. But once it comes around 3, 4, 5, 6 times,
You better figure it out.
you better figure it out. Because guess what? It's not going to stop until you get it.
Yeah.
So,
Cool. I think this is like a good stopping point. I know we can go on and on, but we're going to just make sure we're just giving you the golden nuggets to walk
Right,
away with.
right.
What else?
So what are we going to leave them with today?
We are going to leave them with, we're going to ask you to curate your circle.
Ooh.
Look at the people that are in your life. Look in your phone, see your top 5 people that you call all the time, and figure out, do those people feed into you? Do they make you better than you are today?
Ooh.
If they're not,
That's good. Block
them. No, just kidding. We'll find a nice way. Well, next segment we'll talk about how to get rid of dead weight.
No, that's good. That's good. So make sure you take a look at them. It's important. Take a look at that. Keep doing the mirror work. Keep working on yourself. And, friends are worth more than their weight in gold.
Yeah.
They really are. They're hard to come by. And when you find one, you've got to cherish that and you got to work on it. Take some work to keep a relationship going. But again, that's working on yourself also. They need to be working on themselves. So I like to say, make sure you stay unapologetically significant because you are,
You are,
and stay safe and be kind to everyone,
including yourself.
mainly yourself. You come first. So with that, we'll wrap and see you next time.
Toodaloo.